Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Tessa. I'm a student recruiter from the University of Alberta. Before I was ever a student recruiter, I was a student myself. I actually graduated just a couple of years ago with a Bachelor's of Science in Nutrition and Food Science. I love my degree. I love my time at the university. So I'm so excited that I get to share that with you today. So today's presentation is going to be on International Baccalaureate and what that means for you as an applicant to the University of Alberta. Before we begin, I would also like to acknowledge that the University of Alberta is located on Treaty 6 territory, and we respect the histories, languages, and cultures and knowledge systems of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continues to enrich our vibrant community. So again, today's presentation is going to cover IB. We also have an advanced placement presentation if that's more applicable to you. But just one thing that I would like to note for you folks is that a lot of the information I'm about to share in this presentation can be found on our website, uab.ca/IB. So that link on that right-hand side. So just make sure you mark that down so that it's going to be a really good reference point for you. Without further ado, let's jump into the presentation. So you're curious and clever, and that is why we're so excited to have you at the University of Alberta. So there are numerous reasons why an IB skill set can be such an asset throughout your university experience. And why an academically rigorous environment like university or the University of Alberta would be a good fit. So, we're a top ranked research based institution. So, with you and your curiosity and your work ethic, you are going to make such an impact here. So let's chat about that IB skill set. So the first thing that can be, again, such an asset for you is going to be that time management piece. So in university, it's going to be so great for you to know how long you should be working on an assignment or how far in advance you should be studying for your exams. So throughout the IB and the workload that comes with it, you'll be able to learn those skills a little bit earlier on to get you where you need to be in university. There's also that workload preparation piece. So, university courses are taught at a faster pace than high school courses. So, that IB or International Baccalaureate program can also, with that academic rigor, help prepare you for that fast paced university environment. And then, of course, exam writing skills. Exam writing will be so important in university. So, the more practice and the more skills that you can build to help with it, the better and the more success you'll find in university. And of course, that ability to stick with it is so important, that grit aspect. So you're going to be continually challenged through your IB experience, just as you're going to be challenged in university. In university, you're going to be challenged in being forced to adapt and grow in new ways for 4 years. And a great predictor of success is that ability to stick with it and see through those challenges. So these are the reasons why that IB skill set can be such a great advantage in an academically rigorous environment. The University of Alberta does a process called dual admission, which basically means that we'll take either your IB grade or your high school grade. We'll use whatever's higher between the two. This means that writing the IB exam will never put you at a disadvantage, and dual admission applies whether you're doing full IB or partial IB. So whether you're choosing to do the full program or just take a course, we'll always use whatever is higher between your provincial grade, your high school grade, or your IB grade. And then, of course, your IB results are presented on a scale of 1 to 7. We have this percentage chart that converts your IB result into a percentage, which we can use. So just make sure you're referring to this. And again, this percentage chart is actually on our website, the one that I was talking about earlier at uab.ca/IB. So all of this will be for your reference. It's there to live for you. The other thing I just want to bring up is we'll talk a little bit about the ways that you can be rewarded, the ways that we recognize all of your hard work and your achievements. I'd just like to note that in order to be eligible for those, you have to score a 6 or a 7 on the IB exam to kind of get those recognition efforts, the ones that I'll be chatting about later. But before I do that, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're applying as an IB student. So you'll be able to select your level of high school education, the curriculum that you studied. So you could do International Baccalaureate, that would be IB. You could also select Canadian curriculum. So if you are from another province or you're studying in Alberta, you'll be able to select that. And you'll also be able to select whether you're doing a certificate, so just a course or two or a few, or if you're doing the full IB diploma. So this is also going to help you self-report your grades. And when you self-report your grades, it'll look a little bit something like this. So you'll be able to select the course title, so IB English Language and Literature, the IB Language Literature HL, SL, grade 11, grade 12. You'll be able to select those. And you'll also be able to select any provincial curriculum that you've done, such as maybe English 11 First Pupils. I'd also like to note, for the purposes of this presentation, I just used the BC curriculum, but this will look different depending on what province you did your curriculum in. This is just giving you an example of what this will look like. You'll also be able to mark things as in progress or with the final mark. And on that final mark, you'll also be converting it into that percentage that we were talking about earlier. That conversion chart is going to be on your application as well. So again, you'll mark things as either completed, registered but not yet started, half year course in progress, etc. And then of course we're going to have that conversion chart on your application as well. So we're also able to give you IB admission without conditions for full IB diploma candidates who can receive um, without conditions based off their predicted grades. So this will be done through their IB coordinator. So again, you have to be a full IB student, so you have to be doing the diploma. You have to present all the 6 subjects that we require. Again, on the website, the steps are listed on that website I was talking about earlier. And then your IB coordinator at your school will be able to submit your predicted marks between March 1st and April 30th, I believe. So just make sure that that is a process that you're following so that you could actually receive an offer without conditions, which basically means you're good to go. And now I'm going to talk about the ways that we recognize your hard work. Again, just bringing it back to a couple slides ago, it has to be a 6 or a 7 on an IB exam in order to be eligible for everything else that I'm going to be talking about now. So you would be eligible for advanced placement if you score that 6 or 7. And this is the ability to register in senior level courses without taking the junior level course first. So you're going to be able to jump into areas that you're really passionate about, but there's no transfer credit awarded. So you're not going to earn transfer credit. You just get to go the extra mile. And then this is usually offered for just language courses. So just make sure that this is relevant to you. And then we'll also be able to offer you transfer credit for some courses. We have a complete transfer guide on our website, uab.ca/IB. So it'll break down between the IB course and the U of A equivalent, so what you would be eligible to receive transfer credit for. And this is going to be university level credit for work completed that you did in high school, which is great. This will free up some time in your schedule, and it also saves you money because you don't pay for classes that you don't take. So again, just make sure that if you are in a program such as engineering that doesn't accept transfer credit for AP or IB coursework, that you're not accepting that transfer credit. But again, more information is available on that website. And we also can offer credit by special assessment, and this is done by challenging a university course for credit by writing a special exam. It's primarily used for chemistry, AP chemistry, IB chemistry, that kind of stuff. Please talk to the Faculty of Science. I know that they do personal advising on this. This is because this can be a really good option for students, but it can also provide quite a few risks or have some negative impacts on them. So what I mean by that is when you're writing the special exam, you're actually going to get a final grade for that. And that final grade for that exam that the university gives you is going to be on your transcript forever. So if you do really well on that, amazing, wonderful, way to go. But if you don't do so well, that is going to follow you. So just make sure that you're talking to the Faculty of Science if you're wanting to receive transfer credit for chemistry, and make sure that this is a result, this is a good path for you. We also offer scholarships and awards. So, in general, the University of Alberta offers over $40 million in scholarship and financial aid. But for specifically IB students, we offer the Enriched Scholar Scholarship, which is $50,000 of $5,000 awards. So, we really like to reward you for all of your hard work. We have application-based and admission-based awards. Admission-based is are awards that you are automatically considered for upon being accepted into the University of Alberta. Application-based awards are written awards. The Enriched Scholar is a written award as well. So, without further ado, I would just like to invite you to a few last things. We have advising one-on-one with myself or my colleagues in their faculty specific, or you could do general advising with myself. And then we also have topic specific presentations, such as submitting your application, scholarships 101, and so much more. You can sign up for these and stay in the know at uab.ca/recruitment events. But we also have this QR code you could scan as well. So thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.